This motorcycle has no mirrors, but the bigger issue is the driver has no shoes and no helmet and allegedly no license. There's money to modify the bike, but no money for a helmet or shoes. Okay, I get it. Anyway, the towing crew are here now, and I'll put that on the tow truck once they've written out the paperwork. And I just heard the enforcer ask him, so your last registration is 2015, and the gentleman nodded. Wow, it's a long time ago. Same with this gentleman here, I'm sure he'll turn around. This gentleman's wearing no shoes, no crash helmet. Or it turns out he does have a helmet, but it was in the back box instead of on top of his head. The team are now in Balintawak. Most of the road is clear, but some of it's still being misused or abused by the vendors. Someone did install railings on the sidewalk. I don't know if it's a city or MMDA. The problem is those sidewalks have been turned into vending areas also. You see they're clearing it now, but I don't know for later. And I guess this is their version of waste management. Just dump it on the road and wait for someone to clean it up, right? Well, that's an upgrade. At least there's some plastic on the floor for the ice now. You will often see a lot of rats running around this area, all over the food, all over the tables. It's pretty disgusting. I remember one time there was a dead rat just sitting there right next to the food. Saying that, yeah, it's on a plastic, but then they pull it along the floor. And all these motorcycles are now being issued tickets for illegal parking. I remember before there was a guy here that was allegedly collecting money from people to park here, and then he ran away when he saw the MMDA. That's the thing. Someone will tell you, yeah, you can park there, ignore the sign. And then when enforcers come, he will run away and he will hide, and you'll be left with the ticket. There was actually a big fire just this morning, and that's what a lot of people forget. When you park illegally, you obstruct the road, you obstruct access to emergency vehicles. That means more houses burning, more people losing their lives, their possessions. A lot of people don't consider that side of things. I would say that compared to before, Balintawak is a lot better, but it still has a very long way to go. Although one thing to remember, obviously, is that the team have been going ahead and clearing this, so it probably looked a lot worse if you came here, 30 minutes ago. I just heard the enforcer tell this guy to wear a helmet, and then he just waved at him and continued riding. That's the problem. You try and give people a chance and they don't take it seriously. And once you give them a ticket, they'll say, hey, why didn't you give me a chance? He tried to give you a chance, you're not listening. I keep hearing about water shortages, and I keep seeing things like this where pipes are running non-stop all day, every day. That's the irony. Those who are paying for water, they keep losing it and being told there's not enough. But meanwhile, I guess the driver must have come out late for this one because it's already halfway up the tow truck. I see an MBI sticker. 99.9% of the time, people using those stickers have no association with the agency. They just buy them on Shopee, Lazada, and then boom, they think it's going to help them in some way. One of the enforcers looking at this paperwork on the wall. It looks like the month of April expenses for a Tricycle terminal. I say that because it appears to have body numbers for tricycles, but I could be wrong. The interesting thing is the breakdown of expenses even includes some local law enforcement allegedly. This vehicle is now being issued a ticket for illegal parking. And there's the tow truck. They're hooking up at the back and they'll pull it away. That motorcycle was flagged down because the daddy was driving with a young boy that doesn't have a helmet. And then just behind them was this motorcycle that's also been flagged down. Both the lady driver and lady passenger weren't wearing helmets, and the lady driver told the enforcer she doesn't have a license. And that motorcycle was flagged down for the passenger with slippers. LTO ensured the wording is very clear under the single ticketing system that both the driver and passenger are prohibited from wearing slippers. Right now, the single ticketing system is Metro Manila, but they say eventually it'll be rolled out nationwide, so all LGUs, all agencies are consistent in their enforcement and in their penalties. And this is something that the MMDA are receiving more and more complaints about every day. Roads being turned into garages for jeepneys. Of course, one of the requirements of getting a franchise is you actually have off-street parking. But in reality, many of them are parked on the roads, the sidewalks, and people are getting tired of it. And they're starting to really demand that these kind of vehicles get towed, get ticketed, Sometimes drivers would argue, yeah, I blocked the public sidewalk, but they could use the private walkway. The problem with that is, what if the private walkway gets obstructed? The government don't have any right to clear that. It's private. Aside from that, pedestrians shouldn't have to be going left, right, left, right, left, right. They should be able to walk straight on a sidewalk, a public sidewalk. This guy just came running from across the street now. Looks like he came from the eatery. This Innova actually fits pretty much without obstructing the sidewalk. So some cars can fit, but that one over there, obviously you can see the sidewalk's fully obstructed, which would force pedestrians into the road. That's why they're issuing a ticket to that older gentleman there. You see this vehicle is parked on the corner. Allegedly the driver's on the way. There you go, that's the driver. So they can just take a ticket and then move on. Parking on corners is dangerous and it causes an inconvenience for other drivers. Another SUV, another corner. But again, the driver did come out, so as long as he shows his license, it's just a ticket, then move the vehicle. No need to tow it away. But this one, not so lucky. Also parked on the corner, already picked up by the tow truck. You can see the yellow and black paint on the sidewalk to remind people not to park on corners. The enforcer's just writing out the ticket to this motorcycle. You see that gentleman standing behind him. He flagged him down for riding without a helmet, and when he asked for his license, he can't show anything. So the bike will be impounded. And there goes the towing crew with the bike. The owner was a little bit angry, said the guy is only 17, the one that was driving. Be very careful who you allow to ride your vehicle, because if they don't have a license. And you see the tow truck just hooked up to this Jeep, and there's a bunch of private vehicles behind. If the drivers don't come out, they'll also be towed. And it's the same with this one at the back, already going up on the flatbed. This is Blue Mentrit, that's a Mabuhay lane, meaning it's prioritized for clearing. And up goes the other one now. So that's all three of them towed. Two private, one Jeep.